Hello and welcome to Trecwn Valley Railway, and today we're going to have a look at the double O gauge track. I'm just going to run through what I've used, and also I'll show you what I do to improve the look of it. So grab yourself a drink and we'll take a closer look. Okay, looking at the track, I've decided not to put cork underneath, and thank you for everyone that's commented about your opinions whether to use cork or not. And a few of you have said that it's only really needed for the ballast shoulder, because as for sound deafening, once you put the ballast down and glue it down, it goes rock hard and it don't really improve the running noise. So I thought what I'll do, I'll leave it then, which I did on March West Junction. So the track I've used is a mixture between Hornby, Pico and Bachmann set track, just to make it simple, because it's not really a complicated track plan. As you can see, it's just a storage sidings there that comes down onto a point, a small curve, over another point, and then we got the station line, and then what I'm looking at as a siding. Something that I have added, I've mentioned in a previous video, I've bought one of these. So there's a little catch point there. And I'm not fitting point motors, I'm thinking of fitting rodding that will go across the board. There's something at the Worley Model Railway Club that they do with a tube, and they disguise it with all the scenics, and I'm just thinking for simplicity, maybe that's the way forward. Now, with the track laying, I've pinned it down using the Pico little nails, little panel pin type things, because they've got a small head. Now, if you want to take the track back up, you don't have damage like this with them, because the head, it sort of pulls through the hole, and I'm hoping that the glue will help hold it all down as well once I ballast it. And what I've done as well, because the environment we're in is it's insulated roof garage, but obviously not the doors, double doors, so there is a variation with heat and moisture. So what I've decided to do is put spacing in all the tracks, so it does give a nice clickety clack as it goes over as well. And hopefully, if there's any heat, because it's autumn time now, if there's any heat generated in the summer, when it expands, it won't buckle the track, it will just fill up the gaps of that I've put in. So the next thing, as you can see, some of this track is pre-used off other projects, so there's odd sleepers missing, damage, and there's because there's some flexi track on the end there, and there's a gap between them. What I do to sort this out is I keep hold of all my old bits of track, whether it's broken points or everything. It's always worth keeping, because you can use them to detail projects afterwards. I mean, if I take you over to March West, I'll show you where I've used a broken point down this end. As you can see, it's there, and I've cut the rest of it off to show where it's been disconnected. And what I also do is use odd bits of track to help detail different areas. So over the back here, you can see there's a bit of a point as well, and there's some spare track there as well in the yard, and it just adds a bit of interest that would normally go in the bin. So what I'm going to do next then to enhance it is fill all these gaps up with some of the broken track that I've got. So then it will just look all more natural as it's been laid. Okay, I've put the sleepers in the track where there's gaps, and as you can see, it's difficult to see. Now, to get them in, what I do, I take the chairs off the track sleeper, but only 3 of them, the 2 inners and 1 of the outers. So then the last outer is still on the outside here. So from a visual point of view, when someone's viewing it, they still can see the actual chairs on the sleeper, so it doesn't stand out. But as you can see, it's difficult to see where there was a gap. I noticed there was a bit more of a gap here, so I put an extra sleeper in. But as you can see now, it doesn't show up any gaps in the sleepers, which is better. You do get the this area where it's the set track joins, but other than that, you don't really see anything. And once it's ballasted, it will be hidden as well. Now, it's a glue in place, nothing special, cheap and cheerful. I use the Yoo-hoo glue, or hoo-hoo as one of the other YouTubers call it. So that does just the ticket for it, so you don't need to go to town by buying some special glues to glue it in place. And as you can see, I feel it looks a lot better and more uniformed. So the next stage is I'll show you how I'll weather the track. Okay, before you start weathering your track, what I always do is I get a bit of blue tack and roll it thin and narrow, and I put it between the point blades, and hopefully this will protect where the connection is for the electricity that goes through. So when I remove it, hopefully it will still be bare metal on those points, and it won't cause us any issues. To weather the track, I do it really simple. Basically, I just use this Humbrol acrylic spray, dark brown 29, and I just spray the track, all the track, and sleepers, rails, everything with that. And that's it then. That's all I ever use, and it don't look too bad. If I just show you quickly on March West, this is what the track looks like when it's been ballasted. So I think the weathering don't look that far off. Different places on the network you get this dirty brown, which is what I've got now, or it goes to like an oxide red, similar to that wagon. So it depends in the area of where you're modelling, how the rust affects it. But the more, I think, especially if it's a freight line, I think they get more dusty. And with this rattle can, all I do is just give it a quick shake up and then keep it low and just spray it. And that's it, nothing more complicated. Gets rid of the black or the shiny brown from the pico points and set track. So that's it really. It's quite simple, nothing spectacular, nothing hard, and these are about, I don't know, £6 a can or something, and I think it gives a good effect. So I'll just crack on and spray it all, and when it's dried I'll show you what it looks like when it's dried. One thing I failed to mention, before you start doing this to your track, always test your track. I've done some tests in between. I haven't got a controller connected to it at the moment, so I've been using a 9-volt battery. But test your track before you nail it down. Test your track when you've nailed it down. And then the more testing you do, the happier you'll be. I've even had Mark III coaches pushed up and down as well, just to make sure they don't derail and they're happy to run on what I've got set out. So I'll carry on with spraying it all, and I'll come back to you when it's all done and dry. Okay, a few hours has passed, and it's all dried now. Because we've used the acrylic paint, it dries pretty quick. I mean, it can dry in 20 minutes, it can be dry, but I leave it for a few hours. I've used about a quarter of this can to do this much area. Now, the beauty of using this spray, if you look now, it's painted the board as well underneath. So when you do ballast, if there's any ballast that gets missed, it just shows dirt on the underside. So you haven't got the actual wood grain showing through. So that's a good advantage of it. Now, I've picked all the blue tack back out the points using one of these small screwdrivers from Aldi. So as you can see, it's not painted in those areas. And then what I need to do now is clean the tops of the track, just to make sure that all the paint's off. And what I use is one of these Pico track rubbers. Now, the reason I use one of these is there's like a bit of graphite in them, but they're very fine, so it's not that coarse. And if you use emery cloth or something like that, it's a bit more coarse. It's hard to get something as fine as this. You could use the like the nail files that not nail files, I think the nail boards are called. But I find this quite good to use, and all I do is just hold it on the top and just give it a rub until the track shines through, and it don't take long for it to shine through. And just go over the whole lot like that, and that's enough. So what you'll find as well, you get a bit of build up on here of the paint. Now, what I use on that is some like industrial wipes, and just give them a quick wipe and it cleans it all up, so it's nearly back to how it was originally. So I'll crack on with cleaning the track. I don't want to film myself cleaning all of this and you guys just sitting there watching it, and we'll come back and see what the results are like. Okay, we've gone over the track now with the track rubber, and as you can see, there's a shine to the top of the track, but the side of the rails have still got the paint on. And like I say, with these rubbers, as you can see all the crap built up on it, I'll just give them a rub with one of these cloths, and as you can see, it all comes off and it's back to where it was. So these are just some industrial wipes that you get. You can pick them up everywhere really, DIY shops and stuff like that. So and that's cleaned that up now, and it's back to other than its wear, it's back to how it was in the beginning. And the important thing to remember as well is vac your track off before you put a train on it. And then what I do I've got some track cleaning fluid that I've had off my dad from years ago, but basically it's like isopropyl alcohol. Just get a lint-free cloth and just wipe the tops of the rails just to get it that clean. And then once you've done that, I'll get a 9-volt battery, and because I haven't got a controller connected, and then I'll just try the train on it, see if it works. There you go, and it's just me holding that battery for one key, that is. There you go. So you've got to test your track afterwards just to make sure you've got the connectivity. Watch it don't go off the edge of the board, there's no buffer there. That would be funny, I'd probably get more views. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So that's basically how I lay my track and how I weather it. So it's nothing fantastic, nothing that's like anything special. Anyone can do it. It's so simple, and you get. I think you get reasonable results. So, just to recap on what I've done, I've used set track with a bit of flexi track to make up the lengths at the end. I bought myself a little catch point there, Pico catch point, and if you can look now, it's very uniformed. I was using Pico, Bachmann and Hornby set track, which all have different coloured sleepers and stuff like that. If you look at it now, it's all the same. You know, it's more uniform, like I say. I've glued in broken sleepers where there was gaps to hide that. Then what I've done, I've nailed it down using Pico track pins, and then I've used Yoo-hoo glue to glue in the pieces that were broken, and then I've sprayed it with this dark brown number 29 acrylic spray from Humbrol. Let it dry, and then cleaned it off with a Pico track rubber, and then cleaned it off with a vacuum, sucked all the debris off, and then I've gone over it with a lint-free cloth with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, if I can pronounce that right. It's a mouthful. And that's where we are with the track at the moment on the lower level for the double O gauge. So apart from ballasting and adding all the cable ducting and dummy point motors and things like that, we are where we are. So that brings me to the end of this video of the track laying. Hopefully you found it useful, and hopefully you can take something away from this, or you can even add comments at the bottom to find a better way of doing it. I'm not an expert at doing it. This is just the way I do it. So this might not be the right way, but it does for me. So thank you for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit the like button, subscribe button and bell icon. And if you're just visiting, just hit the like button. Helps with the algorithms of the channel, and it helps YouTube promote my channel with more likes. And I'll see you at the next one. So stay safe. Thank you very much for taking your time out to watch this video, and bye for now.